Praise the Lord. We're going to do a teaching here on a most, I guess, sought after and looked after emblem in Christianity called the cross. As you see here, we got some hands, and they're in obeisances to a wooden Ephesus. Much of Christendom looks up to this emblem pretty much as their faith, their standard, and the reason of their belief. Praise the Lord. I'm going to move that up a little bit more. This up a little higher. I'll leave it like that, and I guess hopefully that'll be all right. Everybody see it well? Yeah, this has been in play for many millennia. We'll learn today that this very image is not Christian. Deuteronomy 4:15 tells us, says, "Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire." They didn't see no form of God. They had no likeness or anything to ascribe him to. But somehow today, we think we got some way to ascribe him to something. Said, "Lest ye corrupt yourselves." All of a sudden now you want to create God into an image, into a likeness. He said, if you do so, you're going to what? Corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image. Well, many will say, well, I didn't make the cross, but the graven image that we're dealing with is in this hour, is in the heart and in the mind that's been engraven in here, graven in the spirit. Even though we're not doing it with our hands, but our heart and our mind and our conversation is doing the engraving. It's been engraven in us so much that our belief and our actions come outward to what we believe. "Lest you corrupt yourselves and make a graven image, the likeness, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female." "The likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth." And you can see many Christian automobiles have little fish on the back of their automobile, sometimes with a little cross in it. But we're making likenesses. What's going on with, like Pastor said, faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things what? Not seen. But somehow, man, he's got to have something to see to believe. "Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon, and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them." Something's going to be inside us to be driven to worship them. What? Our heart is evil and desperately wicked. So it's going to drive you to worship them and serve what? Them. Which the Lord thy God, Yahweh, thy Elohim, hath divided into all nations under the whole heaven. Now looky here. First thing I dealt with was the Star of David. Now look what's coming out of this little fella, this image here. That's Bacchus. That's Bacchus coming out of the center of the Star of David. Now tell me, does that look holy if you got a demon coming out of the middle of something? Is that righteous? Look at that image. That's ugly. And that's on a building. Images. An image is 1504, an image, a figure, a likeness, and in their time we called icons. Comes from the Greek word icon. Romans 1:21. Because when they what? Knew God. They have no without knowledge of God, but they knew God. They glorified him what? Not as God. They didn't glorify him as the Most High, the creator of all things. And it says, neither were thankful, but became what? Vain. In their what? Imaginations. And their what? Foolish heart was darkened. So in their imaginations, they're starting to pull things vain. And out of their foolish heart, the dark things of the heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. The issues of life come out of the heart. Professing themselves to be wise. And yeah, there was many, like Pastor said, thought it was wise to take the Apocrypha out of the Bible. And they showed how much they were fools. But many out here trying to philosophize, like you heard, trying to intellectualize, trying to put things into boxes, into categories, say it's this, say it's that, dissecting it here and there. They became what? Fools. And changed what? What did they end up changing? The glory. The same glory that is going to be revealed in us. They want to change that. And we know who is behind all this changing of the glory. Lucifer himself. When he saw his own brightness, he became corrupted and thought it was coming from himself. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into what? An image, into an icon, into an idol, to an engraven thing within them. Made like the corruptible man, to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Here we go. Don't that look so religious, so holy? No, that is a lying vanity. Yes, sir. It's a lying vanity. It's set up on high. And you go in any of these churches, you see it on the top of the churches. You see it up high. It's always put up on high. Set up on high to display the pomp and fashion of the world. Notice what's right behind it? The sun. Notice how that's portrayed. It's illuminated by the sun. So we're dealing not only with image worship, we're also dealing with sun worship. That's a nice looking figure, huh? It's what all the world seems to know Christendom by this one image, Christ on a cross. But is that so? But is that true? Is that a true image? Is that